Fellas, understand this. A woman will treat you the way she's been treated. Either consciously or unconsciously. You see, this is why the dating stage is so important for you. Fellas, when you out here meeting a woman that you have interest in, and you're thinking about, having a relationship with her, pay attention to what's being said during the dating stage. You see, oftentimes men are so worried about whether or not they're going to get in the draws that they're not even listening to what's being said. There's so much valuable information for you to obtain during the dating stage. For instance, if a woman tells you that, she's been in an abusive relationship, she's had guys cheat on her, or she had guys who verbally abused her and physically abused her. And you ask her, you say, well, how long were you in? What was the longest relationship you were in like that? And she say, well, I was in it for 5 years. I was in it for 10 years. Listen, brothers. Whether consciously or unconsciously, there's an aspect of her that has become accustomed to that type of man. And the only reason, many of the times, that they leave is because it became life-threatening or too abusive. Not necessarily the fact that the man was controlling, not necessarily the fact that the man was stern or the man was, the man was on her back or whatever. Not necessarily for those reasons. That's not why they left. Okay, the reason they finally leave is because it gets to be life-threatening. It gets to be too abusive. They have to protect them and the children. That's why they left. Now, here's the problem. When most men hear a woman say these things, guys try to swoop in like Superman and be the complete opposite of the men that they've dealt with. Bad move. You see, you can't come in and be Mr. Nice Guy. You have to know how to balance this thing, because if she's used to that type of man, then you can't come in and be Mr. Pushover. You can't come in and just sit back and allow any and everything to happen. She'll run you over. You see? So you got to learn how to balance it. So there's an aspect of her that's used to that kind of man. So when you come in, you got to know how to be nice to her, better to her, but still be stern. You got to know how to come in and treat her 10 times better than they did, but not be a pushover or soft. Because that woman will run you the hell over. Because let me tell you something. A woman that's been abused, a woman that's been misused, a woman that has cried over a man and waited by the phone over a man and tried to be everything to a man, but a man just kept cheating on her, she vowed in her mind that she ain't going through that no more. And from now on, she will be the one who dictate the terms. Understand? See, women take on the characteristic of the man they with, or men in general. Don't believe me? Look in the strip club. There's more women than men. Don't believe me? Look in the gym. Their back is wider than yours. They benching more than you bench. Don't believe me? Who's driving all the trucks now? So when you're with the person that long, women take on the characteristics of that person, either consciously or unconsciously. She could have been quiet and nice, but being that she was with him, he made her aggressive. So she takes on his ways. And if you come in trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, she will run you the hell over. So you got to be smart about it. You got to listen to the information, know what she needs. You see, these are conversations that I need to have with just men. But unfortunately, I got to put it out over the airways for everybody to chime in. This is a man's conversation. This is something men need to know. We're not asking their permission. We're not asking them to co-sign it. We ain't asking them whether or not they agree. This is for men. And I'm trying to get this to a point where I can have a Patreon audience for just men, because there's so much that I need to just say to y'all that's for your ears only. There's so much I need to say to women that's just for women only. But understand this, fellas. You got to move accordingly. You got to know how to assess the situation, know what to bring to the table, how to bring it to the table, okay? She may be glad that I did a video before talking about women don't have a medium button. There's no medium with a woman. They're either all or nothing. You should never have to tell a grown woman when to come in the house. You would think. But if you sit back and you say nothing, they will completely run you the hell over. They will take advantage of it. You give a rope, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Ain't no medium button with a woman. They're either all in, all out. So you got to learn how to bring the proper balance. Understand the situation. Know who it is you're with. Know what that woman needs. Know how to administer what you need to administer. You can't, if it's not necessary to be overly affectionate, then you can't be overly affectionate. If it's not necessarily be overly touchy-feely, then you can't be that. You got to understand the situation, know how to assess it, and then know how to move. Real talk.